There's many different types of serves you can hit in pickleball, but not all of them are created equal. So in this video, I've ranked them all in terms of their effectiveness, and I'll also show you how to use them. There's probably a few serves in here that you've never seen before, so make sure to understand them all, and let me know in the comments if you think my list is in the right order. Before I get into the serves though, I wanted to mention that our new paddle, the Gen 4.5, is now available. If you've been curious about trying a foam paddle but didn't want to spend over $200, this could be the perfect option for you. What makes our paddle interesting is that it's a full foam core, so you get more dwell time and a plusher feel, but with the way that we designed it, you also get more pop and more power than the first wave of foam paddles. So David Yang is a popular paddle reviewer, and he's using this right now as his main paddle in tournaments.
Personally, this is my main paddle right now.
He's chosen this over every other paddle on the market because he thinks it gives him the best results when he plays games. So if you want a top-notch paddle at a competitive price that gives you access to new technology that's never been on the market before, head to our site and use code FOAM to get $20 off to get this for $155. All right, now let's get into our serves. At number 7 on our list, we have the lob serve. So the lob serve is interesting because it's very different than any other serve. And the reason why it can be effective is because you're giving your opponent just a very different shot that they might not be used to hitting on a return. So as you can see, all the lob serve is I'm hitting essentially a lob on a serve. So it's a very high serve. You might never have seen players use this, but it can throw people off because the ball is going to bounce a lot higher than a normal serve, and that just might mess them up. They might be hitting a ball from a different point. They might overhit it and go for too good of a shot and miss their return. So all you have to do to hit this serve is use your normal topspin serve technique. It's not that complicated, and then just aim very high. I don't know exactly how many feet I'm hitting over the net. I think it's probably like 10 feet or more, but when you hit this serve, there are downsides, right? And there's a reason why it's number 7 on this list. The main downside is because you're hitting it so high, you have to hit it very slow, which makes it a little bit easy for your opponents to come in and they can hit a really hard deep return if they're good at timing the serve. So it's number 7 on the list, but you can try it. It can work against certain players that just don't know how to hit this shot. So give it a shot. It is number 7 on the list though, so I don't recommend you use this serve too much, especially if your level is higher. All right guys, our next serve at number 6 on our list is the banana serve. So as you can see, the banana serve has some side spin on it. I'm kind of carving around it. Now, as I've mentioned before, why we named this the banana serve is because in tennis, Rafa Nadal used to hit this shot on his forehand where it kind of curves, so they call it the banana because the banana curves. And why is this number 6 on our list? So it's a very effective serve if you can do it properly, and you kind of get a mixture of topspin and side spin, which another serve I'm going to talk about later also gets that. But it's interesting because you can hit it pretty hard if you know how to do it right. So you can probably see the curve. I'll hit one down the middle so you can really see the curve. See, I can literally curve it around the center if I do it well. That's very risky, but generally this serve is good. Why I have it at number 6 though is because if you don't have this technique down, it's kind of hard to do it. So this is something I learned how to do in tennis. You're kind of coming like this. You have to be hitting the ball forward while coming out to the side. And the way that you do that is you toss the ball actually a little bit further behind you, and then you come around it like this. So instead of tossing it out here like my normal topspin, I toss it right here. And that gives me the ability to carve out around it. I've seen pros use this. I've seen Annalie Waters use this, but the reason I put it at number 6 is because it's a little bit hard to use. So if you haven't tried the banana serve, give it a shot. I actually have a full video on it. The technique is a little interesting, but give it a shot. It's just a little challenging to get the hang of. The number 5 serve that I have on my list is the short angle serve. So looks something like that. That was actually a really good one. It's a very risky serve, and if you don't do it well, it's actually pretty easy for your opponents to return. But if you do it right, it can be very effective. So who does this serve work against? It works against players that aren't very quick, maybe that are standing closer to the middle, that just aren't expecting you to do it. So if you do it over and over again, they're going to be ready for it, but it is a good serve to throw people off. So it's definitely a change-up serve, not something you should be doing very consistently, but all you have to do it is just hit a little bit slower, put some topspin on it, and go for sort of the corner close to the kitchen. You don't want to go too close to the line or too close to the kitchen. Obviously that's very risky, but find the right balance where it's going off the sideline before it hits the baseline like this. So why is this serve number 5? It's not the best serve to use consistently. It's also very risky. You have to kind of have it down. If you just throw this in randomly in the game, you might miss it in the net, you might miss it wide. So it's a good serve against a player that's not expecting it, maybe that's not the quickest mover. Another downside to this serve is that it works way better on your dominant side, so we're demonstrating this on my right side, right? Because I'm a righty, I have a better angle. If I'm on the left side, my paddle is going to be more in the middle of the court, and I don't have as good of an angle that I do here. to get it off the court like that. So great serve to try, great serve to throw in occasionally, but it is number 5 on our list because of those reasons. And real quick, guys, just wanted to let you know that right now we're trying to become the first pickleball channel in history to get to 500,000 subscribers. So if you want to help us make history, make sure to hit subscribe and you'll help us out a lot. At number 4 on our list, we have what I call the looper serve. So if you're not looking closely, it might look like a normal topspin serve, but the difference is I'm hitting it higher. So I'm going to go higher and I'm going to try to go for more spin. So this sort of has a similar benefit to the lob serve, except you can hit more power on it. So I'm going for a higher serve, probably going 4 feet over the net. Topspin serve is probably going 1 feet over the net. And why this is cool and why it works well is because when it bounces, it's a little bit higher, right, than a normal topspin serve. And that spin, the extra spin you could put on it, makes the bounce very erratic. So some players just don't know how to respond to a serve that's coming at this sort of trajectory. So it's not a lob serve, not a topspin serve, sort of a middle of the road height. That was a really good one. And if you get it deep, it kind of jumps into people as they're trying to come forward. If they're already moving in, you can kind of catch them in a weird spot. They might hit the return short, they might miss it. It's a great serve. Same technique as a topspin. You're just aiming a little bit higher with a little bit more of this brush to get you those RPMs, to get the ball to jet off into them. So the number 3 serve on the list is a serve I actually made a video about recently, and we named it the fade serve. And what it looks like is this. So it's sort of like the opposite of banana serve. I'm getting a mixture of topspin and side spin, but I'm going the other way. So what's cool about the fade serve is you can get a lot of side spin, but you also get, so it's kind of spinning diagonally, right? So it's a mixture of side spin and top spin, which allows you to hit the ball harder without it sailing long. So you kind of still get the arc of topspin, but you get the side spin of the next serve that I'm going to talk about. So it's a great serve. It's probably the second best serve for higher level players. So I think the next serve is going to be better for players that are in the 3.0 to 4.0 range. If you're above 4.0, the serve is probably the second best on our list. As you can see, it kind of fades off to the right, which is why we call it the fade serve. To hit this, you toss it more out in front of your body versus on the side, and you kind of come up at this diagonal sort of trajectory. So looks like this. Like I said, I have a full video on it, and if you want to learn more of the specifics, you can go watch that. Number 2 serve on our list, though, is the screwball serve. And as you can see, this serve has the most side spin of any of them. See, I can literally curve the ball very easily around the center line. And why it's so effective is players that are from the 3.0 to 4.0 level, which is most players, the vast majority of players, when I use this against them, they panic and they don't know what to do. So it's just a really challenging serve for certain players to return. So if you're playing people that are in that range and you know how to use this serve, it's going to give you a huge advantage because they don't know how to track the side spin. To hit this serve, I use a continental grip. So where I toss it is right in front of my left knee. So I'm a righty. I toss it right in front of my left knee. I sort of just drop the ball while cutting to the side. So I cut like this as I'm hitting the ball forward. If you can get the hang of it, it's really easy to be consistent. As you can see, I've made all of them pretty easily in this video. It's not that hard of a serve to hit. The one downside of it though, the biggest downside, there's 2. And it's that because you're not getting any topspin, you can't hit the ball hard. If I hit this ball hard, it's gonna hit the back fence, right? Because it doesn't get sucked down by topspin. Also, because I don't have topspin, I have to hit it lower. So when I hit this serve, it's sort of just going over the net, which makes it a little bit risky. So our next serve is a lot less risky because you don't have to do that. And the number 1 serve in pickleball, the most effective serve, I don't know if there's an argument to this, but let me know in the comments if there is. The number 1 serve is the heavy topspin serve. So why is this serve the number 1 serve? Well, as you can see, this is the serve that I can hit the hardest without it sailing long. So it's also the most consistent serve to hit hard. And if you watch higher level players, there's a good chance this is the only serve they use. Some pros just only do this serve, and that's totally fine because against higher level players, the only way you can really throw them off is by hitting it hard and getting an erratic bounce from having a lot of topspin. So against players above 5.0, this is the best way to get a short return or to get them to miss the return. If I hit a high level player, a screwball, it might be easier for them to respond, right? I'm not going to be able to trick them with the spin. They already know how to track that. So this serve is the only serve that you get that erratic bounce and you get the chance that a high level player will miss in the net, will miss long, or will just hit a short, easy return. So I've made a lot of videos on how to hit this serve. The technique is probably something you've seen before. It's essentially just like a tennis forehand. There's different, variations of it. I made a video last week about how you can use a more, Western grip when you're doing it. But in reality, you're just brushing up as you're going forward. So look something like this. There's a lot of mechanics to how you get the power with what we call the flashlight technique. And when I'm doing this serve, all I'm really going for is about a foot over the net, maybe a foot and a half over the net. That's sort of the best trajectory to make it difficult for my opponents without hitting it too low to where it's risky, right? So foot and a half over the net. The downside of the serve is that if you go too hard, you might just miss long because you're putting so much power on the ball that you can just lose control, right? So let me know in the comments if you think this list was in the right order. I think it was, but let me know if you think that there was maybe serves that should have been higher up or some serves that should have been lower. And if you want to go deeper into any of these serves, I'm going to link some of them after the video so you can go watch more specifics.